Welcome, everybody, back to another week for the Cleaner Cast. As you know, we're live on YouTube every Friday at 6 Central, available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to give us that subscribe, rate, and review. I'm glad y'all hung around. We had to have a few download Chrome, this and that. But we got to introduce my Canadian cohort himself. He's Mr. Alex Dewar. How's it going, Dewar?
Hello, everyone. It's going well. I'm really excited for today, and
we can tell you're excited for today. I mean, look at that background.
I mean, yeah, got a new crispy setup going on, and excited for this one. Be sure to have your questions, and I think we really need to reach out to Google to get a bit of a sponsorship going because we have a lot of Chrome downloads.
Coming their
way. So yeah,
for sure. But I don't think we have any new podcast reviews this week.
But if you do written ones, 5-star reviews if you can, and I think we're going to earn some today.
Definitely. Big show. Got a lot of guests, so let's jump straight into it, Dewar.
Perfect.
I'm beyond excited for this episode. This is a big episode.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we're going to introduce to you some just spectacular gentlemen. I can't believe we got them on the cast, Dewar.
Oh, I know,
Phillips
right?
Brothers themselves.
Unbelievable.
Bob and Dave Phillips. I mean, let's just get them on and see what they got to say. Hello, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Hello.
Fantastic, man. Yeah.
Hello.
Glad to have y'all part of the Cleaner Cast and answer some of mine and Dewar's questions about the brand new drop, which is Absolute Rinseless Wash.
How are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it indeed. Definitely. I put it to the test, for a couple weeks now, and I'm just loving it. So, let's hear a little bit about P&S before we start. I like to dig deep into the backstory, but today we got so many guests. I just want a quick recap of kind of how y'all took ownership of P&S and all that good story. There's so many years to recap, but just give us a little bit.
Yeah, so Dave and I are second generation. So our dad actually started the business in 1961. So the company's 61 years old now. Last year we celebrated our 60th anniversary. Dave and I I've been doing it 42 years. So I started when I was 18 years old. Dave came in about 3 or 4 years after me, Dave? Something around like 3 years after me, something like that.
83, 85, something like that.
Yeah, and then, fast forward to now, I mean, we proposed to our father to build a new manufacturing facility 32 years ago. And so we've been in the same facility, for 32 years. Then we had one building. Now we're essentially in 4. And, P&S has been, a long-time player in the professional detailing market. But, about 10 years ago, we kind of reinvented ourselves and brought in this guy named Rennie Doyle and added double black and,
Things have
changed a lot for our company. And it's been great. Yeah. And now we get to engage with great people like you.
Yes. Glad to have y'all on. Like I said, I mean, had the chance to visit Hayward a couple months ago back in June, and y'all were, trying to finish up this brand new product. I saw, a snippet of the label. I got to smell a couple different versions, but now a couple months later, it finally has been revealed. It's Absolute Rinseless Wash. So let's get into it. Kind of the origin. I know this has taken many years to develop and come up with, and to get Dave excited, I think, to start the process of developing a rinseless wash. So tell us how it started. And I know there's this infamous list. So let's build up to that.
Yeah, list.
Right. So, to be honest, I think the first time I heard about a rinseless wash was probably, 5 or 6 years ago, where, and they said, well, I go, and I think just like everybody asks probably now, is like, well, what's the difference between a rinseless and a waterless? And you're going like, can't they, and in reality, I kind of used our waterless wash unknowingly as a rinseless wash and didn't even realize I was entering a whole new category of wash techniques at the time. And, then Rennie got a hold of Pearl and then started, talking about how that could be used as a rinseless wash. And we kind of agreed, but it's a soap, so it's just it's kind of like, yeah, you can use it as a rinseless wash. I compared it to other soaps and it worked a lot better. So, there was that.
Just run cleaner, rinse is easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So finally, the big thing happened a couple of years ago was where we were at the Quail, and I kind of got cornered and maybe kind of helped corner them as well by Sydney and Kyle and Levi, and we sat down and went through everything that the product had to do. And I actually did videos of it, of them talking. They're sitting in the van, they were talking, they were doing some demo stuff. And it was such a list that, I actually had to review the video about 4 or 5 times to get, all the little points. And what was great about the video was they could explain in the video why it was important, why they wanted to have this happen, and why, and I got a real good, strong feel for what it needed to do. So, and that's really important for me when I'm developing a product, because if I say something is I'm trying to get it to wipe off easily or something like that, I need to know how easily is actually perceived, right? So I need to get a real hands-on feel. So if somebody's saying something's not working right, I have to be able to see that, try to fix it, and then see that I fixed it. Because if it's one of those things, just like you're fixing a car, if you take it in because the window doesn't go down, and then you drive into the dealership and the window's going down, you're like, they don't know what to do anymore, right? So it was really this whole list, and the list is great. It's soften water, ease of dilution, good smell, good cleaning, no foam, no water spots, not soap, wipe off easily, no streaks on glass, be able to stay fresh in the container. They're all written down, but yeah. And so we went through them one
Actually,
time.
I saw today in your newsletter, Dave's released, had a nice written out of your the whole process, and the list is actually on that newsletter. So if you go check out the newsletter, you can read the whole list. It's a long list.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun doing it. And then, I just felt like we really needed to approach this from a completely new angle, with new ingredients that we didn't even have in stock, and start, and approach it in a way that I thought was going to be really unique to the industry. And I think we got there. I'm pretty happy.
Yes. So that's the origin of Absolute, the infamous list. So Bob, on the business side of Rinseless, was it just the right time to bring in a Rinseless? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, totally. I think one of the things too is that, Jamie, we didn't really understand how widely used Rinseless was.
Right.
You got to use it, coming from our background, historically, our customer was a car wash. Our customer was a car dealership. Our customer was a body shop. Even though we had sold to a lot of professional detailers, sometimes it's regional. So we did not really understand the scale of Rinseless being used in the marketplace. So, from a business perspective, once we learned about that, we went, hey, we really need to engage this, because a lot of customers are using Rinseless, but it wasn't, ours. And we don't necessarily think that everything has to be ours. That's not our style. But realistically, we just saw it as a great opportunity. And then I think realistically, though, the cool thing about having Dave as not only my brother, but a business partner, but if we can hit a home run, that's what makes it exciting, right? Yeah. So the aha moment for me was when, Dave was testing the product, using it out front of my office. And I tell the story where, he's using it and he comes up to my glass and he taps on the glass and he goes like this, come here, I got to show you this. And I go outside and I use it and I'm like, what was that? And he's like, yeah, that's our Rinseless. I'm like, okay, now we got to share this with the world, right? So it's like when you got a cool product, it makes it even better. A lot of companies, and we've come out with some duds, you think you have something that's a home run and you don't always have it. But once Dave started going down this path of, the performance capabilities of Absolute, we're like, wow, it really outperforms. And then really the fine tuning was over the next, 6 months, Dave, maybe even a little bit longer. Key things behind the scenes, like could we access the raw material?
Mhm.
Like we were using a new raw material that we just couldn't, go to the grocery store and buy. And so not every raw material supplier had it. So we had to make sure that if we were going to launch this, that we had the material to back it up so we could deliver. So all those things, were happening behind the scenes, make sure the product was stable, all those things. Because, it's risky. We use this term, Dave came up with a ground up formula. Well, that sounds really great. But ground up means, hey, guess what? It hasn't been out there you really never know you have a solid formula until something has been out on the market for 6 months to a year, because it's impossible to put it in every environment. So, but what Dave did though, he manufactured the first batch of Absolute 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Approximately.
4 months ago.
4 months ago.
Yeah, no,
maybe
6 months ago.
6 months ago, and just let it sit.
Yep. Yeah.
So that we
I was to say, when I was in Hayward in June, you're like, this is our new product. It's been sitting here for 4 months. We're going to let it sit there.
Right. So now we're at 6 months, So it was really because we wanted to make sure that we had the stability down, and we wanted to make sure that the product was, hit the mark. The other thing that we've really been trying to emphasize in the launch of this product is this is a unique product. So it's thicker, it's different. It's not like every other rinseless on the market.
Right. And that kind of leads me to my next topic, is this new polymer technology. Meeting Dave, Dave brought up, stuff he pays attention to when something's new is available. Just chemicals. I think he was talking about something from Tide when I was there. It's about to come on the market. And I'm going to try and put this and this and that. But Dave, walk us through this new polymer technology. Where did you find it? And why this is the latest and greatest in polymer technology.
Wait a minute, Dave. Don't tell him where you found it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Can't let out the secret sauce, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Dave. Don't.
Yeah, I think it's an application. It's the polymer has been around. It's just not used in this regularly. This is not where you would typically find the use for this application. And kind of I was trying to think of this when I wrote that little article. It's like, how do I explain where that thought came from? And it's kind of a combination of, information that I'm looking at and reading at the time. And, that the fact that I was trying to think of this, this rinseless wash product. And it's kind of a luck, serendipity. It's, they say luck favors the prepared. I've been working at this a long time. When I see something, I kind of get the feeling that's going to be perfect for that. So that's really, really kind of what happened at that moment. I just went, wow, we gotta, try applying this here. And then sometimes I always have a joke. Sometimes these materials I come across them at the wrong time. And I maybe I'm not working on something that those apply to. I take as good a notes as I can. I keep track of everything that I've got. And then hopefully, when I am doing something for that there would be a fit, I'll be able to pick that up. But just as a joke, a lot of times I always say, it's like, well, if it doesn't do anything, I'll just spray it on a tire and see if it makes it shine.
Yeah.
But no, really, I mean, it was a combination of running into the right information at the right time and the right developments at the right time. And I just went, wow, we got to give this a shot.
Yeah, that's kind of what I just wanted to reinforce, was this is not a clone of another rinseless. This is a, y'all said it many times, ground up, but people read that and go, yeah, okay. Clone. This is new, newer technology to the detailing market.
I think that was one of the, when we were looking at the original, material that was coming out of the lab, we knew that it didn't look like anything else, which was, we thought, well, that's fantastic. Right? Because the last thing we want to be doing is copying somebody else's product. And, hey, there are some fantastic rinseless products on the market. Everybody has their preferences. We think the market is growing a lot right now. And so, there's going to be a lot of room in this market for a lot of rinseless washes.
Very cool.
Yep. I agree. So I don't want to keep y'all for too long. I know y'all are busy gentlemen. I'd hate to suck up your whole afternoon, but the future of P&S is Absolute. So what's the future hold P&S? I got it going on now with the product Absolute. I'm not asking for future products, but what's just a general future of Team P&S, company, team, all that good stuff?
Well, I got to tell you, one of the things we're really looking forward to is going to SEMA, because we haven't been to SEMA since 2019.
Oh, wow.
And so we've launched a lot of new products since 2019. So just to be able to go there, our company has changed drastically in the last, will be 3 years, right? So that's one of the things that I know we're really looking forward to. We've got some, new products that we're going to be, showcasing at SEMA. And so we're really excited about that. I mean, we're just kind of really excited to get kind of back to those roots. I think SEMA is going to be bigger and better than ever. I haven't been in the new West Hall, but talking to Levi from the Rag Company yesterday, I mean, they exhibited in the new West Hall last year, and they said, man, this thing is like so nice. So that's one thing we're really looking forward to, is really, SEMA and showcasing everything we've accomplished since 2019. Right? Fun.
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
It's gonna be a big show indeed. Well, gentlemen,
Jamie, are you going?
Probably not.
So what I think I enjoyed most about having you come out to visit P&S is when Sydney and I were talking about it. She goes, Jamie's never been on a plane before. That to me was great, right?
Yeah,
and
the plane that leaves out of Shreveport, Louisiana, are the smallest little rinky-dink, smelling bad planes you've ever rode in your life.
So I feel
once I got to Denver, it was a pretty nice plane to California. So
yeah, but I feel we were fortunate to get you out here. So that was really fun. Yeah.
Yes, much appreciated, gentlemen. Pleasure to have you on the cast. Dewar, you want to say anything to the Phillips brothers?
No, I appreciate you guys joining. I'm really excited to try it out, and especially in my colder winter climate coming up here. It's right in the season of rinseless, so I couldn't be more thrilled.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having us on.
Yes,
appreciate it.
Thank y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one. Let's see if I can get Dave out of here.
Perfect.
Okay, well, that is not all the guests we have this evening. We have a jam-packed, what's Dane saying? Got to get Jamie on a plane. Yeah, jam-packed show, because next up, Dewar, we got the man, the myth, the legend himself. He's Mr. Rennie Dole. Mr. Dole, welcome to the Cleaner Cast. How's it going?
What's up, guys? How's it going, man?
Going good. Good. So, how's it feel to finally have a rinseless wash in the double black collection?
I'll tell you, pretty cool. We've a lot of people don't know the history of rinseless, and it actually, as a teenager, we started using rinseless products at airports all the way back in the 70s and early 80s.
Wow.
Because of water issues. Airports are kind of matter of fact, talking about airports. So Jamie, you're telling me how the little plane, when you first left out of home was little. So my challenge to you is when you're out west next is I'm going to take you up for a flight.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out what little is. We're going to have a little fun. We won't invert. How's that? We won't invert. So, I can't say we're not going to knife blade, but we won't invert.
The cleaner won't exist if you take in different directions.
Yeah. So, waterless, it's amazing because, I got to tell you, pay tributes due and credits is Dave and Sydney. I mean, they just busted their butt on this. I was lucky because I just got out of their way and stayed out of their way, and I just kept testing it. And I was kind of the bad guy though, because if there was something I didn't like, I was the one that would have to, oh boy, I'm going to have to be the one that, says, hey, this is, I'd like to have it tweaked this way. Well, as chemistry is not easy. And so, especially with new technology, and, it took us a long time. And when you were out in Hayward, matter of fact, when we were doing I don't know if you caught this or not, I think you did. We were taking a tour and we're giving all the industry people a tour of the facility.
Yes.
And we just realized that the container of was sitting there.
Yeah.
So it jumped in front of it to cover the label up. It was a 250-gallon tote, that we were aging to see how it poured out. So, it's been a long process, but Dave and Sydney really did a good job. I mean, all the way up until literally 2 weeks ago, we are still just going through, especially I'm critical. I know how critical detailers are going to be. So we're storing it upside down. We're storing it on the side. I put it in the sun. So I got my gallon and I'd say, okay, Dave, is it supposed to look like this? Is it supposed to look like this? And I think everybody's starting to get agitated because we just, our people are going to say, as Bob and Dave are just saying, that it was from the ground up. It was from the first granule of chemical all the way through. And we didn't reverse engineer anything. We engineered it. Right. And that's hard to do because there's a lot of great products out there. And we just wanted to take them. And, when the Model T came out, it was revolutionary. Model T is cool, but I'd much rather drive a Porsche,
Right. You'd rather have some newer technology.
That's exactly it. And so while the older products got us there and they're still great products.
Exactly.
This is just a new generation, of product. And I think it's going to take a lot of us through a good portion of our careers, as you're going to see this be one of those products that's around for a long, long time and a staple within a lot of shops. And I also hope that it opens up people, you can see behind me to the side, right behind me is my wife's nearly classic Porsche Boxster S. Right in front of that, nose to nose, is my 67 Chevelle. That 67 Chevelle in 24 years has only had not even a half dozen pressure washings. It's all been rinseless. It's rinseless washed every 2 weeks. It's rinseless washed and has been for 24 years.
Yeah. So that leads me to kind of asking, what's the Rennie Dole wash method when coming? What is your preferred method that you want people to know when they get their hands on a bottle of Absolute?
The first thing is, a lot of people, it's going to be thicker. And so you got to stir it up. You got to shake the bottle. And so whether it's, quart size or gallon, shake it pretty good. And then don't over mix it. I did, we took, and I knew there was going to be, I'm one of those detailers and one of those guys, one of those car guys, one of the garage guys. Well, crap, man, if a half ounce per gallon works great, what's an ounce look like? We didn't really see any negative to it. It's just kind of wasteful. It's really, there was no positive to it. I was really after the negatives. So I'd say the first thing is, and then once you pour it in the bucket, just stir it up a little bit. I've got some that's sitting here. I've been aging for over a week in a bucket, and it's used. It's stirred in and everything else, and it looks good. But the key is to it, just like everything, mix everything up. But this product, definitely stir it up. Takes about, 15, 20 seconds of, just put your hand in the bucket, stir it around a little bit, and then go. Other than that, what I've been doing, I cleaned the Chevelle yesterday, is I took and just filled up a bucket up, a half ounce per gallon, right? And I stuck down my IK sprayer down in there, filled that with the same product, right? Top it off, and then I go through the car before I even touch it, and I mist it on as a lifter, as a pre-wash. And exactly. I came back and it had dried. I took a phone call and all the dirt was sitting on top. And it lifted everything to the top, and it just made it smoother when I was washing it. Thanks to Sydney, I've gotten all hooked on these laser cut foam mitts for.
I was gonna ask, are we a foam guy? Or are we a wash mitt guy?
On that car, I really like the laser cut because on classic cars, all the edges, and all the trim that you can catch, I don't want to catch anything on it. And that particular pad won't catch anything. It'll rip the pad before it rips the, damage the car. Other than that, I'm a big mitt guy. I don't like to put my hand in it. I like the huge block that that Rag Company, builds. And they can make that thing twice as big and I'd still love it. I just like to soak up some materials on it and drench it down. So, our floors, we're real picky. Our floors are a little dirty right now. We're just getting ready to start a training on Monday. So we've been running equipment out. We just got shipments in and all this stuff. But I'm really particular. We got a lot of money invested in our floors. And so I like to be neat with it. I don't overuse it. I don't drip it all over the place. So there's some of my hints. And then, oh my God, the smell. It smells so good.
I was going to ask you, we talked to Anthony before this podcast and we got into the scent wars topic. I'll bring it up with Sydney as well, because she was, I think, leader of the P&S side of the scent wars.
Yeah.
What was your favorite scent through the into the different batches?
This is going to be a weird answer. So I grew up with down about 38 miles east of Los Angeles. And we had this huge eucalyptus tree that was behind my house. So I've always been drawn. I love the smell of eucalyptus. And so that one kind of caught me. The eucalyptus kind of caught me because it just, I think scents can bring you back somewhere or take you somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
That makes sense. And so I like scents. I know the purity aspect of it. Here's the reality, and I'm probably going to hate mail off this, but scents doesn't do shit for causing any problems or issues with a product, and it's going to be up to each individual user. But oh my God, you want to see the 12-year-old coming out of me? Just make something smell like cotton candy. I'll lose it.
Yeah, it definitely adds to that user experience and just overall feel of the product.
It does, don't you think? And I think I think the smell's so slight, but I just think it allows you to know it's there. And then when you mix it in the bucket, it goes in cloudy, and then when you mix it, it's pretty much clear. Yeah. I don't know. I just the actions with it. I've always been a big pusher of, we had Alex, like you, we had, our main office was in Idaho. There's two seasons, winter and road construction.
Yep.
And so cars, people say, oh, I couldn't do it dirty. I drove my Chevelle year round. If it was a nice day and there wasn't ice on the road, I was going to work in it. It was bought to drive. And I did most of my washes. We did a lot of our maintenance washes with using a rinseless product. And so I think that I hope that it opens some people's minds up by us jumping into this market, that it's a viable way. It's actually my preferred way. And believe it or not, if a car on maintenance, if it's not real dirty, it takes less time because you don't have to drag all your equipment out.
100%.
For sure. Time saver. You can cut out products with it. Glass cleaners, this kind of deal. Phenomenal. Having a rinseless wash now in the double black, game changer.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you're going to freak out because when we're up at Monterey, is that it was rain, it was sunshine, it was rain, it was sunshine, and I think we wiped down the outdoor cars, I don't know, at least 8 times. It was crazy. And so it's an airport, and so on day 2 we had to come back and not only wipe them down, we had to rewash them. And by that point, we're in some nice weather, and when I mean nice, I'm talking the surfaces were 124 to 136 degrees from the sun. And it was unreal on how Absolute worked in the direct sunlight. Not my preferred method, but it's unreal the success we had.
Yeah. There you go. That's testimony right there. I mean, that's really putting it to the test on Monterey.
Yeah, it was really cool. Oh yeah, God, we were working on one car. It went up on auction. It was $7.8 million. And it's me, and what Bob won't tell you and Dave won't tell you is that, they're a manufacturer, right? Well, yours truly's got his insurance. I've got my insurance underwriter biting her nails because we just got done with Air Force One, and now she's like, okay, so you worked on a $300 million airplane. So what's the range of the vehicles? What's the highest in vehicle? And I think she was expecting like, $250,000 or something like that. And I said, one they expect to go for $7 or $8 million. She goes, what? I said, it's not as bad as last year. We had one that we worked on that was $40 million. And she's like, I don't even want to know.
So crazy. Crazy.
She goes, let me ask you this. Can you burn it to the ground? And I said, no, can't burn it to the ground. She goes, okay, I feel better.
Yep. Well, there you go. That kind of, Monterey kind of leads to Sydney as well. She was there as well. So let's go ahead and bring her on. Kyle's not coming on. I got a message from him. So we'll just keep on, Mr. Dole, and you can tag team with Sydney.
Cool. Right. I like that.
She has the say.
She's the brains behind this whole thing. So she'll go in.
That's class.
She's almost as nerdy as Dave on this.
Oh, wow.
I said that. I mean, she really got into the science. She dug deep, guys. So this is going to
So everybody, the SVG of Team P&S is Sydney Gwynn. Oh, you're small. Let me change there we go. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you want to?
Thanks for coming on.
We were talking about Monterey. Do you want to chime in on that real quick?
Yeah. So it was it was kind of crazy. Like Rennie said, we had crazy weather, super unexpected. And it was just fun this year. This was my 3rd year in Monterey, and it was fun to have another product that, could kind of stand up to the elements. And thank goodness we had it. And I actually worked the auction. So on Thursday of that week, the team split. Some of us stayed at the auction, some went to the quail. And those of us that stayed at the auction had to actually get the cars like at the line to go onto the block. We had to get them ready. And about halfway through the night, we switched to Absolute, and it was just like, where has this been our whole lives? It was so crazy and so cool to watch it in action. And I have another story about Absolute that I haven't got to tell yet. And I'm not even sure that Rennie's heard this one. He was there, but I don't think he realized what was going on. So when we were at Air Force One, it was sponsor day, and I had asked Bob to bring me like 4 ounces of Absolute in his luggage. And so he did. And then we kind of set it aside, kind of forgot about it. And I think it was I can't remember if it was Thursday night or Friday morning. They had the 727, which was serial number 1. It was insanely dirty. I do have pictures and video. I just haven't gotten to the TikTok yet, but insanely dirty, right, Rennie? Totally brown, covered in dirt, so dirty. So it was serial number 1 of the 727. And for those that don't know, that's the model of plane that DB Cooper jumped out of. So it's a pretty cool plane. Mm-hmm. And it got back to Boeing Field sometime in the mid 80s, I think. And so it's been super dirty. And so we needed to clean it. And we were looking at it like there's no way our paint gloss or paint prep or Epic, none of that is going to work on this. And all of a sudden I remembered that Bob had brought me the sample of Absolute. So we went, and in one of those big not even 5 gallon, what are those big like moving totes? We emptied all of Keith's stuff out of one, filled it up with water, poured the Absolute in there, and started dunking IK sprayers. And we were just handing IKs to the guys with the squeegee or with the Swiffers. And we just said, don't ask what it is, just let's clean the plane. And it was so cool. They were up there spraying the IKs, and the dirt was just dripping down. Yeah. And so it was really cool because we got that entire plane clean with like 4 ounces of Absolute, literally. Crazy. And it was amazing. The plane was amazing.
This is funny because I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. I had no idea. I walked back over there and I told him, oh man, because we're like, we're kind of worn down by that day, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a mess. And I walked back over a few hours later, and I'm like, what the hell? I literally, I'm like, how do we get it that clean that easy? And they're like, we're told not to ask what it was. Just
right. Right.
Until right now, I didn't put it together. I had no idea. I was like,
it was so cool. It was the coolest moment for me.
That's too funny.
It was really cool. And I think it only took us like 2.5 hours to clean an entire 727. And there was probably 15 people on it. Yep. It was crazy. I mean, we were just IKing it, Swiffering it. It came out.
Like we put something else on it. And we didn't.
Nope. We didn't go back with FeedMaker or anything. I mean, it was crazy. It was truly crazy.
And I swear to you right now, my mom's grave. I had no idea that's what they did.
Yeah. Well, it happened so fast, and I did. I told everybody, I'm like, don't ask, don't try to get it out of me. Just get the plane.
You guys did say that. So we don't know what it was. We
take it and go.
Yeah.
And I think the guys kind of got pissed because they're like, well, what are we working with? They had no idea. Right. They were working with Absolute, and I had no idea what they're talking. I had their backs. I'm like, yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, and they go, "Are we just cleaning with water?"
Yeah, that's it. The magic right there.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. So that was my favorite moment from Air Force One, was getting to use Absolute incognito. Nobody knew what it was. They just knew that it was getting the job done real fast.
So some of them were probably like, "Yeah, we need to get this in the shop. So let me see that label." And I'm like,
Yeah, I got a message from some of the team yesterday, and we're like, "You're sneaky."
Yeah. So Sydney, tell us, your involvement from the ground up. Going back to that statement, were you involved in this list? I feel like you probably wrote half of it.
Yeah. So I would be, not being totally truthful if I didn't say that there was a little bit of selfishness in this. I obviously I've had my own detail shop for 10 years, and I work out of my garage, and I live in an HOA, and I try to be very conscious of that. I try to be very conscious of, the environment, not putting anything in. So for about 9.5 years, I've been like 99% rinseless. So, obviously, I'm a huge lover of P&S products, and I, adore all of them. They're all my favorite. Right. And so I've, since the beginning, have really wanted a rinseless wash. And so, about 2 years ago, I started kind of, I kept kind of putting the bug in Dave's ear. And, there's times when we all meet as a team and we start talking about like what's next. And there was always me in the back, like, let's do a rinseless wash.
Yeah.
I really want. But I knew that it would be just like fire, right? I knew that it would be a game changer. I knew Dave was the man to get it done. And, there's a lot of really good rinseless washes on the market. But I just knew that, Dave and the team at P&S could just level up. And, those washes are still great, but I wanted something that was, not just even as good. And I told that to Dave, like, I want it to be better than the best. So it was a tall order, and I wanted it to do absolutely everything. And so it just kind of started there. We just started with the list, started with all my favorite aspects of different products on the market. And, then we just, right out the gate, he created a pretty incredible product. But then we just kept tweaking it and making it better and better and better. And, checking those boxes off, and,
then bringing in the rag company, right? Getting their opinion on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we got a lot of opinions. We used it in every form and fashion we could. We left it in steamers with them on for hours and days. And we put it through every test we could think of.
Sure.
And, Dave nailed it. It's literally absolutely amazing. And I know probably everybody's getting tired of the absolute word, but getting started. So
Sydney's being modest, because really, Dave did. He,
on the
side, we couldn't do without Dave, but we honestly we would not have done it without Sydney's drive. Wouldn't have happened. Sydney was the biggest, and selfishly, it was pride. It was pride. And this thing should have said absolutely special Sydney serum or something. She pushed it. We would take the test, and Dave, he did. He nailed it the first time, right?
He did. It was incredible the first time. And I think what's so cool about this, honestly, is that before we started this process, Dave had never really used a rinseless wash. So
that's what Anthony was telling us as well.
Yeah.
That's what
for me, that put Dave in a whole different light for me. Like, we gave him a list and said, this is what we need. And he literally made it without really the expectations for himself on what he was even looking for. He made it and left it to us to say, yes, this works, or no, it doesn't. Cause he really didn't have any background or basis on what we were looking for. He was just literally working off our list, and he absolutely nailed it. Like, so good. So good.
10 months ago, I was at the headquarters.
Yeah.
Dave pulls out, I think, the second or third generation.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, let's go out in the parking lot. And we lit direct sun on, I think it was Bob's black Audi, it was Bob's black Audi. Kind of nasty. Sorry, Bob. It had been raining. And we went to work for it. And I was like, okay, what'd you change? He goes, I don't want to say anything. Just use it and just tell me what you think. And I was like, Dave, this is like unbelievable. It was just like silk, in your hands. It was so smooth, and it worked so good. And I was just, that was only our second or third little, and it was a tweak.
Yeah.
It was like, wow.
Yeah. And I remember the first one, even, I washed the car. I did, my normal, what I do every day. And I remember turning around and going, that looks different.
Yep.
Like, it was just that, like something's different. And it's just,
and this is a cool observation. God, I love this. We can go on and on. Tell us to shut up.
Yeah.
So Sydney's in the trenches, right? I used to be in the trench. I'm not. So for all intents and purposes, I'm an enthusiast. I train professionals, but my professional detailing now is for me. So a lot of people are going to relate to this. And so I'm kind of snooty, when it comes to products. I can kind of be a little bit of a snob when it comes to my products. So for Dave and Sydney just to nail that, I didn't expect it. Honestly, I just, I thought, okay, oh God, we're going to test this it's going to be 3 years of testing. And I was like, oh my God, it was that shocking. So for me to come out like every day, like I said, I'm aging stuff, I'm playing around with it. But I mean, I'm big into waterless. I'm lazy when it comes down to it. I don't want to get a pressure washer out unless I have to.
Right.
Yeah, less steps the better.
Side right now. See it.
Yeah.
It's raining right now, and I made my wife take her car because I'm not going to wash that thing.
Yeah.
So it does need a little bit of wash, and guess what?
Yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So the scent wars. I know Sydney had a scent she loved. Randy's told us his scent. So Sydney, walk us through finalizing the scent, because it's all about you.
This is actually kind of funny. So I was actually at the Air Force One project when the scents first arrived at my house. And so my daughter Delaney was home. And so I said, open them and tell me what they smell like.
Yeah.
So I remember talking to her on the phone and I was like, open them all. And so she was reading the numbers to me and then telling me what she thought they smelled like. And so she said, number 2, whatever. And she said, it smells like coconuts. And I was like, okay. And so she said, well, I like this one. I like this one. So then I got home and I went through them all and I kept going back to the coconut lime one. And Dave had kind of prefaced me and said, nobody here really likes number 2.
Of course.
Their least favorite is number 2. And so I kept, and every time I'd come in to cook dinner, I'd come to, wipe the counters and I'd open them all and smell them again just to see like different times of day and my mood,
Yep.
And I just liked the coconut lime. That I just kept going back to that one. And, in my head, I had visions for, actually the label was already done at this point. So I knew that the label, I had wanted something tropical, peacock, Caribbean, Bora Bora, I knew I wanted the feel of it. And so I just kept going, this scent matches the label. And so I chose that, but then I don't think they told the rag company which one I chose. And then when Dave came for the last Q&A at the rag company, he brought the 6 scents with him.
Yep.
And they all kept going through them and everybody chose a different one. But then Anthony, who's also incredibly passionate about the scents like myself,
sure is. Yep.
he chose the same one that I did. So that was awesome. But it's a great scent. And, the rest of them, just to let the cat out of the bag, the rest of them, there were like blueberry, razzleberry.
So what's our official name for the scent?
I think it's coconut lime verbena.
Okay, there we go.
I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
So, and there was like a cinnamon one, I wasn't a big fan of the cinnamon. But Anthony and I chose the same coconut lime, which was funny because a lot of people chose something different, but I just felt like it matched the label. It matched the vibe.
Yeah, it matches the vibe of the whole product. It really wrapped it all up in a nice little package, cherry on top. I mean, just knocked it out the park.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So you also released recently Reset Towel, Sidekick.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some good stuff there too,
So good, right?
I've been using the Reset Towel. I've been tearing some stuff up with the Sidekick. I mean, just quality, premium. I've released a couple videos now.
He's getting those views with the Sidekick. I love it.
Yeah,
That's right.
Talk about being picky. That was a project where, man, I was like, let's the thread on this side. I was so picky about that. And that one was like 2 years. 2 years. And I can't even tell you how many samples were sent. It was insane.
So the key word for I think these 2 products is quality.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So all the way from the stitching to the clay material, on the Reset Towel.
Yeah.
Rennie?
Yeah. I love how you're using the backside to put the natural finish on. Rennie, he flips it and uses the pearl side to apply his dressing.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Genius.
Diane must have watched your video. I think she's doing the same thing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think she's doing the same thing. So on the Reset Towel,
too cool.
We've been showing people wash clays and protects. Wash clays in coats, without any paint correction. And I did my truck that way when we were testing the Reset Towel. I'm telling you, man. I mean, we just shot a video on clay and talking about the evolution, of where clay's gone. But that the perforation and the way it grabs, but it yet doesn't mar up paint real bad. I just think it's one of the best things that has come out in a long time because we're going into unknown economic times. Things are changing. Things are changing very quickly, and I think that people are really hooked on detailing. but it might become, in certain markets, it might become hard to sell them a $600-800 paint correction and coating. Where doing a paint correction, or doing a paint protection or a paint protection coating, where you clay it.
I mean, I'm having problems now. To be
right?
honest. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hitting. It's hitting. And so, boy, I'll tell you, we really some of our mafia members that are really hooked to Shine. They've been providing with the reset and bead maker, wash, clay, and protect, and then Soul wash, clay, and coat, and they're killing it. 100, 125, 150 bucks an hour. Yeah. And I love it. And so it's sexy as hell. That red black is sexy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. A funny story about the clay towel was Rennie was actually in my shop. We were here on kind of a secret mission, and we had Gordon McCall with us. Like, this is like a great story. So we ran late that day, like as per usual. And I had a GMC Denali, like the XL, in my garage. And I remember it was like time to go to dinner. And I was like, I looked at Rennie and Gordon and I said, guys, I have a Suburban in my shop that needs to be finished tonight. And so they ran up to my shop, and, Rennie was on the outside. I was trying to finish the inside. Gordon was doing the drying. And so Rennie said, what do I need to do to the outside? And I handed him the towel and handed him the bead baker. And I said, spray this, rub it. Gordon will dry it. And I remember Rennie looking at me and going, what is this?
Tag team.
Used that towel. This was several years ago, but I just remember him going, what just happened here?
Right. And then Gordon and I, which, Gordon McCall, I mean, both of us were sitting there looking at each other like, why would you pick up a polisher on this car?
Right.
I mean, honestly, it was like, this car's baby smooth, and I just want to sit here and make love to the paint.
Yeah.
Music, and I mean, it was just sexy as all get out, and we were hooked. And I just told Bob, we got to come out with one, but it's got to be the right color, you know?
Yeah. So
that's what I tell people when, like, I'll post videos with the reset towel, and they'll be like, clay towels mar so much. And I'm like, this is new technology. Going back to that new technology thing, you got to stay up to date on what's new, what's the latest. And reset towels definitely top of the line, latest technology in towels, awesome stuff. So, chat, we're getting into some live Q&A here. So if you got questions, start hitting them with us. And Bob and Dave are still chilling in the background. So if y'all want to come on, just give me the thumbs up, and I'll pop y'all on, back on the screen. Oh, Dave got the thumbs up. Welcome back.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Bob, you coming on? Thumbs up. There he is. All right, well, everybody's back home.
Well, Rennie and Sydney are doing such a great job. I didn't think Dave and I needed to be here, to be honest with you.
No. You guys are the brain, the look.
Oh, Dewar, anything you want to say before? I steamroll Dewar on every episode. So Dewar, take it from here.
I'm just gonna say I'm really excited to try this. I know TRC sending me a bottle, and it's chilling in Los Angeles and not wanting to come across the border, but it should be here soon, and I'm super excited to try it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Send me a message, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Texas Dee chimes in. There should be a pink line for the lady detail.
Wouldn't that be great? Pink's my favorite color. I do like teal, but I do like the pink. The Dream Maker is my favorite.
Hey, my wife's got a limited edition pink Beast polisher.
Yep.
Oh, I got to show you guys something. I'll be right back.
All right. Dave, I saw a post on the Rag Company discussion group earlier that was concerned about the pH level of the product. They went to look at the SDS sheets. It said 6. Yesterday on the Q&A, I think you stated it's somewhere around 7.5. You want to clear that up? I know that was something someone was worried about.
Yeah, I guess I better go back and retest. I kind of went off the top of my head on the podcast. So I would say the safety data sheet is the correct number. And there's no, it's kind of an interesting material. It's not actually that easy to measure the pH on it. If you dilute it out to like a 1% solution, that's kind of interesting. You can get a pH there, but the concentrate has a funny solubility to it. Anyway, so yeah, I mentioned I think the safety data sheet is the correct number.
Okay.
All right. Well, that clears that up, and that's roughly close to neutral.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anywhere. Oh,
check that out.
Absolute shirt, more merch.
That's so cool.
They were supposed to be here for yesterday's event.
Yeah,
and they showed up today, so I'm like, I got to show them.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I need one of them.
Gotta love the merch.
So on the pH situation is that between 6 and 8, there's really not. I mean, it's a logarithmic scale, so it's there's some big changes in the hydrogen ion concentration when you do that, but it all depends on how much how much material is backing it up. So I had a situation the other day where we had some pearl and it was coming out at a higher pH, and the first thing you go is like, oh, we don't want that. But then when I ran a titration, even though the pH is high, it's because there's no buffering capacity in the system. The pH goes up quickly, but a couple of drops of citric acid brought it right back down. So it doesn't have any volume to it, right? It's got the pH. It's like the voltage is up, but there's no current. So it can. Does that make sense? It's like you can have a squirt gun squirting out, really hard, but it's just a squirt gun still, right? It's not the same thing as the Flexos. So
that's what I was thinking myself.
Yeah, that's the deal. So if the pH is wandering a little bit, there's just really no substance behind it anyway. So as soon as anything goes to neutralize it, it just neutralizes instantly anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to find some more questions. I know we had a couple, but the comments, they get lost. Like Levi yesterday trying to through the iPad. I saw someone. So Dave, I know you were trying to perfect the clean maker for me. Or is there any update to that dilution wise?
Well, I had kind of done the same thing. I think everybody does. It's like, well, a little bit was kind of nice. Why don't I do more?
Yeah.
And I overdid it. I think you've got the good blend. It makes a difference to the product. It's not one of those in your face changes. It's just, nice to work with. So yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. When I went over, it had too much of a dream maker quality to it, and it felt like it was losing some of the slickness and the durability of bead maker. So now I think you hit it on. I think you hit it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Kimberly asked, "Are the shirts on the site yet?"
They just arrived about 3 hours ago, so the answer is no, not yet.
No.
Yeah.
Got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not seeing too many questions come in, so I think we must have did a good job of answering all the absolute questions out there.
I mean, we had the best. We had the chemist, we had the sales, we had the marketing, we had the users, everything. Like, you can't get better than this group.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. This is we love the passion that you guys bring to it, and it's absolutely amazing.
I see what you did there. That's never going to get old.
The word absolute a lot lately.
Yeah, it's never going to get old. Yeah.
Well, now I'm conscious of it though, so I'm like, okay, I'm overusing the word.
Right.
Yeah. Yesterday we used the word a lot anyway, but now it's kind of like, really, you're saying that?
Right, and it's like, but we used that word before. I promise.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably so we'll realize it. It's kind of like, oh, that's awesome. It's like, oh. How often do you say that?
Yeah.
There was a comment. Who came up with the name Absolute? I saw that somewhere.
Not me.
Not me.
I think
it was me.
Was it you, Sid?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was me.
I was at home like, it was me.
It wasn't about, I was trying to think of where I was going with it, but yeah, so it wasn't about the word absolutely. It was more about like that, kind of when we say like it needs to do absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So then, that was kind of my thing was, well, it's absolute, like it's, and for me, I like to be a little bit crazy with the names, like dressed and undressed. I like it to be a little bit on the edge. So I knew there was a vodka named Absolute.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it would be fun to, have something but it encompassed what the product was. Like it.
Yeah,
sure.
It's
I
absolutely.
think it nails it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I don't think we knew that the rag company would make the Absolute commercial out of it.
Commercial, yeah.
No. And
so
the
good.
funny thing is, I have blonde hair, and it wasn't until like the last 30 seconds of the commercial that I even realized where they were going with it. And all last week when I knew they were filming it, and I knew they were doing the tiki bar and stuff, and I thought in my head, like, what does this have to do with Absolute? Like, I never caught on. And we were halfway through the commercial yesterday when I went, oh.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very cool.
Well, there you go. We'll start getting y'all out of here. So Rennie, give us the plugs, and we'll go from you to Bob. I don't think Dave has plugs, but he's just to Sydney, and then we'll get you out of here.
I just, we really develop products. It's developed by detailers for detailers, and we just want to take and make a product that makes your life easier. And we want to bring you good value and price point, but more so in performance. And we just, we listen to a lot of people, and our background, all of us here started out in the trenches. None of our journeys were easy. And we want to make your journey as easy as we can and as enjoyable, whether you're a pro or you have somebody that just loves cars. And like I said, I mean, Sydney's still making her living detailing cars, and I just like making my cars shiny and then sharing all the years that I've had in the trenches of making people successful product wise and skill wise. So we just want to thank you guys, Alex, Jamie, but everybody in the industry. You guys make us.
Absolutely.
And Sydney, busted your butt. Big kisses. Dave, I'll just give you a hug. Big hugs, though.
Big hugs.
Because those two really made it happen. Bob and I and the whole team, Double Black, we just kept testing it. And these two really busted their butts. So thank you to you two. And we just appreciate everybody.
There you go.
Awesome.
Bob and Dave, what you got?
Man, I just feel fortunate to be on here. We're surrounded by such great people. All the companies we do business with, the detailers we connect with. I mean, that's what fuels, my motivation. I made a post a couple weeks ago after Monterey, and that, it's really just all about the people. That's really it. That's what, we've been doing this a long time, and we enjoy it, but we really enjoy it because of the people we get to work with. And, one of the great honors is like, Jamie, having you out to our place, and then bringing, the detailers that all come to Monterey and taking them to events that, really none of us, ever thought we'd be at. So that, to me, that's what, feeds me. And so that's the awesome part. Yeah.
So for me, I think I would like to, I'm going to steal something from Apple a little bit, and Steve Jobs is, for me, the deal is, for all of our products is, I just like to say it just works. All the the hype and the technology and the little sound bites and all that sort of stuff aren't that important to me as that it just works. And I just love that. I think there's real value in detail and cleaning products for cars. And that's it. It doesn't need to have a lot. It doesn't even have a lot of words. It just needs to work.
Yep.
Just needs to work. Definitely wise words. Sydney, you're going to have to tell Kyle I got two. He's got one more check, and then I'm coming for him because I went all the way to California and then get to meet the California rep. And now he's ducking the cleaner cast again. So
I know.
Kyle, but then he
gets tough on a Friday night. So I just want to say, I mean, kind of echoing what everybody else said, like, it's all about the people. And, the reason we do what we do really isn't for selfish reasons. It is for the detailers, and it is to make life easier. And I do want to give a shout out to Dane, who's in the chat today. And I appreciate him.
I saw that the commercial.
Yes. And I appreciate him being here. And I just want to say, thank you from the entire team for I know that you've been having some boxing matches the last couple days because of Absolute. And I appreciate your, enthusiasm and your, just promoting the product, because, and the thing that the rag company guys, they know the heart and soul that went into this product. They know that it's not a copycat. They know, they know the road that has been walked. And so I appreciate them, and I appreciate them being, champions of this product with us. And it's just been so fun. And it really is. It's all of our heart and soul went into this product, and it's been a long time coming. And, yesterday was really exciting, and we're just excited that it's finally out there and we get to use it. So thank you. And thank you, Jamie, for all of your support. And Alex, I know you've always been a big champion of P&S too, and we just really appreciate you guys.
Awesome.
Final word.
That's, you guys said it all. And I mean, just seeing it from an enthusiast aspect, like being able to talk to a chemist of a company, like that's who does that. It's crazy. So I really
P&S headquarters and run into Dave. He will talk to you about whatever product you want to know and tell you stuff that you're not going to even know about, but it's awesome.
Dave, if you want to see him really light up and get more of him, just talk about hiking through the Sierras. You'll really see him
really get him going. Yes. So that's it. You can get Absolute at the rag company. You can get Absolute at P&S, the website. And that's all we got for this week. Fantastic episode. We're going to go out with the little intro clip again, and you can make sure you hit that smash the like button, like all the YouTubers say. And subscribe to us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Give us that written review, and we'll catch you on the next one. Team P&S, I think it's the best team in the biz. Greatly appreciate all of y'all.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, everyone.
Catch you on the next one.